What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski and I'm back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys an updated version of my top 5 legend units on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global. Now this list may change in the future. I might update this video again later on down the track, but as for now, I'm going to be doing yet another video on this topic. I already did one previously, you can go and check that out if you really want to, but this is going to be a much more updated list and a much more in-depth video, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Now, if you guys do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to smack the like button down below and leave in the comment section down below. If you guys don't agree with my top 5 list, leave your top 5 list in the comment section down below. I'll be very interested to hear what you guys have to say about my top 5 list, and I'll be interested to see what you would say about your own top 5 list. So without further ado, guys, let's get straight into the video. So coming in at number 5 on my list is Marco the Phoenix, the Whitebeard 1st Division Commander, and this guy is just one of the best units in the game, just solely because of his utility, and I'm going to go through my reasons why in a little bit. Let's just overview the unit first. So we have Marco himself is a 6-star unit, he's a fighter powerhouse character, a quick unit also, and he has a cost of 55 obviously, and 5 socket spots. He isn't very easily socketable, which is a bad thing about him, but he does make up for it with his really cool abilities, and he does have level 99, his health is really strong at 3013, and attack power of 1402, and his recovery stat, which is the most important stat in my opinion, 455. Now, its captain effect will reduce damage received by 30% only if your HP is above 70% at the start of the turn. So as long as you're above 70%, you're going to be getting that 30% damage reduction all the time, which is wicked. And he also has an ability, if you're above 70% at the start of the turn as well, your Psy and Quick units are going to get 2.75 times attack, which is phenomenal. Very similar to 6-star Boa, however, this unit does have the awesome effect of being able to reduce incoming damage, which does make this guy a little bit easier to get that attack multiplier active more often than Boa, which is like one of the main reasons why this unit is just so much better than Boa. And now let's go on to his special, which starts at 25 turns and will eventually max at 18 turns. Recovers 100 times this character's recovery in HP and amplifies the effects of orbs by 1.5 for 2 turns. Okay, so you guys might be saying, you know, why does this guy deserve the number 5 spot on the top 5 list? Well, the main reason is just for his special. His special is phenomenal, recovering 45,000 or 55,000 if you have max cotton candies, as well as getting that 2-turn 1.5 times orb boost is crazy. And this guy's just used on so many different teams just for the fact that you get so much recovery and that wicked ability of an orb boost. So like one team that comes to my head straight away is Strong-Willed Ace. If you guys don't know, you know, Strong-Willed Ace has an ability where he reduces his HP by 40% but then locks orbs for a turn. You got guys like Heracles who give you really good orbs, and then you can use Marco who will recover the HP that you lost from Ace, as well as giving you that 1.5 times orb boost for 2 turns, and you get 2 turns of a lot of matching orbs. So on a Strong-Willed Ace team, even though this guy doesn't get boosted, he's just allows you to get so much damage output. And another legend team that works really well with him is obviously Lucci, because this guy is a powerhouse unit. So it's just phenomenal, because Lucci himself will set your team's recovery to 0. Obviously, if you have Marco, as we said earlier, with his special that recovers HP, this guy's going to be great for a Lucci team. And Lucci himself has a special which will increase the chances of getting matching orbs for 3 turns, which is great. So obviously, if you're going to get lots of matching orbs and Lucci teams don't have lots of recovery, 6-star Marco is a perfect fit for a Lucci team. And just to go over his captain effect really quickly once again, he does reduce damage by 30%. Now if you have 2 Marcos, it reduces it by approximately 50%. Which is nuts. So any damage that you take will be reduced by 50% if you're using a double Marco. So it means staying in that range between 70 and 100% does become a whole lot easier when you have that ability. You know, compared to 6-star Boa, where, you know, she'll give you a recovery boost only if you're between 70 and 100%. So when you fall below that range, you don't get a recovery boost, which makes it very, very redundant and very difficult to stay within that range. But Marco, on the other hand, is very, very good at doing that. And also, he has access for other units that actually help him out a lot, like Raid Boss Eneru and 6-star Doflamingo and the Blue Story Mode Leopard Lucci. All of those guys have really good ways for more damage output and giving you matching orbs and stuff like that to make sure that 6-star Marco will deal as much damage as possible and also stay within that range of 70 and 100%, because, you know, you can use Raid Boss Eneru, tandem that with Marco's actual special, because Raid Boss Eneru lowers your HP to 10%, and gives all your quick characters 2 times attack, and then you use Marco, his special himself, to heal you back up to full pretty much, and a 1.5 times all boost for 2 turns. So that is pretty phenomenal. 6-star Marco, very, very well deserving of the top 5 list. Now, the number 4 spot on my top 5 list is Dracula Mihawk, World's Strongest Swordsman. Now, this guy is a beast, being only a slasher class. I would have thought that they would have given him a secondary class, like Cerebral at least. I feel as if Cerebral is the best secondary typing for Mihawk, but no, they only just make him a regular slasher, which is fine. His stats, though, are insane. His health is 3,900, which is top tier. His attack is 1490, which is top tier, and his recovery is 120, which is very low, but you know, slashers aren't really known for their recovery anyway, so that's nothing to really worry about. He has a cost of 55, of course, and he has 4 socket spots, and this guy is easily socketable with the Raid Mihawk. You know, Raid Mihawk obviously being the easiest raid boss to beat in One Piece Treasure Cruise, so this guy is very easy to socket out. Now, his Captain effect will boost the attack of slasher characters by a variable factor between 2 and 2.75 times, based on the timing of the previous attack. So, if your slasher character hits below a good or a miss, the next slasher gets 2 times attack, and if it's a good, they get 2.25, if it's a great, it's a 2.5, and if they hit a perfect, your next slasher is going to get 2.75 times. So the more perfects you hit, the more damage output you're going to get with a 6-star Mihawk. And he's special, which what makes this guy so versatile, which starts at 25 turns and maxes at 19, so you only need 6 skill ups, will deal 50% of the damage dealt in the previous turn as typeless damage to all enemies. That is crazy. There are so many different teams where this guy can be used in. That is just phenomenal, and I'm going to go through that in a little bit, but I'm just going to explain why this guy first is just insane as a legend in general, and why he deserves the number 4 spot. So, you know, being a slasher captain means that you can run many different colors. You're not restricted by an attribute or attributes like Marco was. You can basically just run any slasher you want, which is really cool because, you know, you got access to guys like Dofi and Koza, and there's just a whole bunch of units. A 3-day 2Y, Zora is the main one. He's one of the best the best slasher booster in the game, with his max special being 1.75 for 2 turns for your slashes. So 3-day 2Y Zora, if you guys have him and you have 6-star Mihawk, then you're in a very, very good situation. That works very, very well. But just the fact that this guy can be used on a burst team, and let's say you have a team that bursts like 2 million damage in 1 turn, then you can just activate Mihawk special and deal another 1 million damage after you do your burst turn, which is phenomenal. This guy he just can be abused in so many different teams. There's even like 0 stamina forests where this guy is used just for bursting, and then they activate his special and deal half of what they dealt in the previous turn as damage to the boss room, and it just kills them in 1 shot. It's super, super overpowered. Dracula Mihawk special is what makes this guy insane. Not only with that insane special, but his captain effect just is one of the best slasher captains in the game. At the moment, actually at the moment in Global, he's the best slasher captain. Personally, in my opinion, he's the best slasher captain in Global at the moment. But in the future, there may be slasher captains that will come out that may surpass him, but his special is what makes this guy insane, just being able to deal out so much damage in a single turn. Moving on to the number 3 spot is Crocodile. Now, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to disagree with this decision, but in this list, I am kind of like assuming that everyone has access to every unit in the game. If you do have access to every unit in the game, then these are the legends that are best in the game. But obviously, not everyone has the ability for that. You know, even I don't have the ability to do that. So, but this is just my opinion and which units are the best right now for legends. So, let's go through Crocodile. Let's break him down real quick. So he's a Dex Cerebral Striker, really nice there. His stats at level 99, you know, 3621 health, very nice. His attack is 1435, which is wicked, and his recovery is 310, which is also pretty decent as well. He has 4 sockets, and this guy is very easy to socket as well. There are actually 2 fortnights of Crocodile in One Piece Treasure Cruise. There is the Impel Down one, and in the future we will be getting like a kimono sort of fortnight with Crocodile as the boss. So we're going to be getting 2 opportunities, 2 fortnights to max this guy's sockets, which is insane. It is so, so good. Now his captain effect, it will boost the attack of cerebral characters proportional to the crew's current HP. So if you're at full health, you get 1.5 times boost. If you're at 1 HP, you get 3.25 times. 3.25 times is crazy. So it's not just if you're at full or at 1, it's everything in between. It's proportional to how much HP you have. So if you're at 50%, it's like a 2.3 something times, so even that's really, really good. And we'll go through that in a little bit as well. Moving on to his special, which is, his special is great. It's amazing. You know, it starts at 21 turns and maxes at 14. Will boost the attack of cerebral characters by a variable factor for 1 turn, and then also deal 20 times his attack index damage to all enemies. Now, the variable factor that it mentions in the special depends on how much HP you have when you activate it. So if you're above 30%, you'll get 1.5 times boost for 1 turn. If you're below 30%, you'll get 2 times attack for your cerebral characters for 1 turn. Now that is crazy. You know, a lot of people say, you know, Momonga's kind of better because he's a 1.75 and he's just easier to get. But if you actually compare, if you calculate it, 1.75 is a whole lot different to 2 times. And you guys can go calculate it yourselves. Just 2 times attack for your cerebral characters is phenomenal. He's super good. Okay, so now that I've talked about the unit itself, let's go ahead and break down why I think he deserves the number 3 spot. So, you know, if you do have access to all of the units, there are units like 6-star Dofi, 3-day 2-year Robin, you know, Heracles, you got CP9 Khalifa. There's just a whole list of units that make this guy super OP, man. And, you know, 3-day 2-year Robin is the number 1 unit that I'm really trying to highlight here, because it's almost like they made this unit specifically for Crocodile. She is phenomenal. What she does is she'll make your HP 1. She'll put your HP to 1. And, you know, as we said with Crocodile, you know, if you're at 1 HP, you get 3.25 times attack. So she puts your HP to 1, locks orbs for a turn, and also delays enemies for a single turn as well. And her cooldown starts at 15 and goes down to like 9, 8 or something like that, which is crazy. So, you know, 3-day 2-year Robin is like the best unit to have for Crocodile, and if you have 3-day 2-year Robin and you have Crocodile, you're in a really good boat, because all you need is like Heracles, 6-star Dofi if you guys can get a hold of, but there are units coming in the future that are free to play that make this guy really good as well, so you don't need to worry about that. So that is really good. As we mentioned before as well, you know, he has to be at reasonably low health to get a really nice attack boost, and a way to get around that is the Moby Dick, which is the Whitebeard ship that you get for clearing 0 stamina Whitebeard. If you just use that and you go into a dungeon, Croc is already going to give you 2.3 times attack at the very start of the dungeon, which is great. So both of the Crocodiles are going to give you 5.6 times attack in total, and then obviously with the ship itself it adds up to 8.5 times. So if you're starting with the Moby Dick, it's actually really good, and it only gets better from there, you know, the lower your HP gets, which is really nice. So if you use this guy in tandem, you know, with 3-day 2-year Robin, Heracles, if you have 6-star Dofi, he's the best. Although there will be another unit in the future, I'm not going to say, I don't really want to spoil too much. But that unit that is coming out is like a good replacement for Dofi. So there's a whole bunch of different units you can use on a Croc team, mainly those 3 that I mentioned. And this guy can output up to 2 to 3 million damage for over 2 turns, which is just crazy. This guy is like the start of the dream teams. You know, in Japan there was a Strongword Ace team that is the dream team, but we are missing a couple of units, i.e. Zephyr, Strongworld, etc. There's a whole bunch of units, so Crocodile just seems like he's the start of the dream team era in One Piece Treasure Cruise, and it's only going to get better from here. So, you know, if you have the units, as I said, if you have the units, this guy becomes the top tier, one of the top tier legends in the game in One Piece Treasure Cruise, and that is why this guy Crocodile is number 3 on my top 5 legends list. Moving on to the number 2 unit of my top 5 legends, being Sengoku the Buddha. Now, to be honest, there isn't really much to say about Sengoku, but let's go ahead and break him down first. So he is a 6-star unit, he is a Psi-Fighter cerebral character, and he does have a little bit different cost. He's got a 54 cost, and the reason why they did that is actually because of his updated captain effect. We'll go through that in a little bit. He does have 5 sockets though. He is difficult to socket, so you know, once we get the ability to access Colosseum, we'll be able to get more socket tomes, and it'll be a lot easier to socket our legends. And his stats at level 99, he has 3429 health, which is really good. His attack is 1338, which is actually one of the weaker legends, but you know, he really makes up for that with his abilities, and his recovery is 389, which is very good as well. Now, his captain effect will reduce the cooldowns of all specials by 2 at the start of the fight, and if you have a double Sengoku, it ends up being 4 turns, which is great, and it boosts the attack of all characters with a cost of 20 or less by 3 times, as well as himself. That is phenomenal. It makes just so many units just so much better than what they already are. Just being able to just make everyone get 3 times boost. He's like a Whitebeard, but you don't even have to be under 30% health. He's so good, and he's special, which starts at 28 turns and maxes at 19, will deal random side damage to all enemies and boost the attack of all characters on your team by 1.5 for 1 turn. Now, Sengoku is kind of like the feel-good story of One Piece Treasure Cruise, because earlier on, when Sengoku was first released into the game, everyone despised this legend. The reason why is because his captain effect did not boost himself. It only boosted the units under 20 cost, which made this guy really weak. It was kind of a shame how bad this unit was, but they updated it where they made his cost 1 less, and they also made it that himself gets the boost. And I think they reduced his cost in the programming of the game so that they could make it anyone whose cost 54 gets a 3 times boost, and you know, that just works well with his captain ability, and it's probably the easiest way to program it. So that's why he's got a 54 cost instead of a 55 cost like the rest of the legends. But nonetheless, you know, it is a really good success story about Sengoku himself, but he was literally the worst legend, and he became literally, as you can see right now, in my opinion, he's the second best legend in the game in One Piece Treasure Cruise as captain and as a sub unit. If you guys have the ability to run this guy as a sub, I would recommend it, because his special is phenomenal. 1.5 boost for everyone for a single turn, as well as dealing a lot of side damage as well. That side damage is really underrated. It does a lot of damage to the opponents as well, so that makes this guy an absolute beast. Another good thing about Sengoku himself is that because he has that ability of his captain effect reducing specials by 2 or by 4 if you have a double Sengoku, it makes this guy really great for speed farming things, especially Fortnite dungeons. You can just have 4 less turns on your cooldowns, and if you have cooldown sockets, it's even lower. It's just so powerful. It is so good. All of your specials, just you can activate them very quickly, and it allows you to speed clear a lot of content in the game, which is very good. A lot of the high level players I know use this guy almost exclusively in Fortnite. Whenever they can use Sengoku, they will be using Sengoku, just because of how fast he clears stuff and how much damage output that he deals as well. You know, if he didn't deal like 3 times attack to everyone, if it was like a 2 times or a 2.5 times, I don't know if he'd be as good, but 3 times attack is phenomenal. And not only that, he can actually run a rainbow team as well, because it doesn't specify an attribute or a class that you can use. You can use literally anyone. So anyone under 20 cost is great on a Sengoku team. You know, you got guys like Breed, Arlong, Smoker. Those are just a couple. You know, you got the blue story mode Rob Lucci. A whole bunch of different units you can run on a Sengoku team, and you know, the main attraction of Sengoku is the way he can clear content so fast. Just the being able to reduce cooldowns and that 3 times attack is phenomenal, and that is why this guy is the number 2 spot on my top 5 list. Moving on to the grand finale, the number 1 unit on my top 5 legends list is obviously going to be Monkey D. Luffy, Oath of the Great Pirate Era. So this guy is actually the revamped Log Luffy, the one with the different artwork, as you see on screen right now. But it does include, obviously, the original Log Luffy, if you guys do have that one as well. They're the exact same thing, but let's go over this unit real quick. He is a beast. He's so powerful. He is a strength, free spirit, fighter type character, and he has, at max level, 3440 health, which is very awesome. His attack is 1430, which is really good, and his recovery is 351, which is also very good as well. So his cost is 55, like all other legends, aside from Sengoku, obviously, and he has 4 sockets, and this guy is probably the easiest guy to max your sockets on. Just for the fact that there are so many different Luffys in the game, that it is like just the easiest way to max this guy out. It's super easy. There's so many Fortnites with Luffys in it. There's actually going to be a future raid boss potentially where you could socket this guy. I'm not going to mention anything, but anyways, as I said, you know, he's very easy to socket. His captain effect though, which is his main attraction, boost attack by 4 times following a chain of good, great, and perfect. It's insane. It's Gear 3 on steroids. It is super powerful. So those last 3 units that you get after the good, great, and perfect get a 4 times attack or a 16 times attack with double Log Luffy. That is insane. It is super overpowered. So that is insane. Your last 3 units get 16 times attack, and you obviously got to count in combo chain and your ship, you know, multiplier as well. So there's lots of different multipliers that go into it, but overall, this guy is great. He can clear literally anything in the game. literally anything in the game he can clear, just for the due fact that his captain effect is super overpowered. Now his special, which starts at 23 turns and maxes at 17, will deal random typeless damage to all enemies and change his own orb to strength. Now that random typeless damage is crazy. It does super high amounts of damage, and the ability to change his own orb into strength is great as well. Just if you have a bad orb, you just use it, deal a bunch of damage to all enemies, and also get a free matching orb as well. So, you know, Monkey D. Luffy, Oath of the Great Pirate Era, the Log Luffy, the Legend Luffy, is the best legend in my personal opinion. So just going back to that captain effect real quick, you know, he has the ability to actually save himself in the middle of a combo chain, you know, just in case, like, oh, you miss, or you hit in the wrong order, like you accidentally hit a great when you're supposed to hit a good, you can still save yourself. You know, if you're like 2 units in, you can still save yourself and let 1 unit deal for a lot of damage in the end of your combo chain. So, you know, as long as you hit, you know, if you accidentally miss your first 2 hits, or you accidentally do something in the middle of your combo chain, there is still a little bit of hope. You can still save yourself, but it is a little bit tricky to use. I'm not gonna lie, you know, you gotta hit the good, the great, and then the perfect. You have to actually really focus when you're using Log Luffy, so you do have to take into account, you know, you do have to hit the good, the great, and then the perfect. You have to hit it in that specific order, but, you know, if you can focus, you do hit that order. 16 times attack with a double Log Luffy is nothing to scoff at. Also, he is not restricted by any attributes or types, so you can run any unit you want on a Log Luffy team, and it's insane. It's just insane. There's just so many units that are just coming out in the future, and units that we already have now, that make this guy insane. And, you know, you can run a mono strength team if you really want to. You can put this guy even as a sub unit on a free spirit team or a fighter team. He's insane because he gives himself a matching orb, and that damage output is insane from his specials. So just everything about Log Luffy I'm a big fan of, and I think you guys should be too. If you guys have Log Luffy, you guys should be very proud, because he is by far the best legend in One Piece Treasure Cruise. So that is going to conclude yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and if you guys have enjoyed it, make sure to smack the like button down below. And also, guys, make sure to leave a comment down below on your personal top 5 legends list. I would be really intrigued to see what you guys think your top 5 legends would be in global One Piece Treasure Cruise. Remember, it is global only, so it is only up to Fujitora, and anything past that, you know, it will be outdated probably by the next legend comes out or whatever. But this is only up to Fujitora, but I would be really interested to see what you guys think are the best legends in One Piece Treasure Cruise. But if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, then make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.